everyone ready?
Yeah.
The judges? Yeah. Now, throughout today's entire debate, I haven't been asking a lot of questions because I've been doing some counting, and I'd like to share what I've come up with. Throughout today's entire debate, the word economy, or variations of, have been used 39 times. The word employment has been used 26 times, and the word small businesses have been used 23 times. But any discussion on the quality of life of our constituents has only been brought up 4 times. Any discussion on the living conditions of our constituents have only been brought up twice. And senators, that's the most fundamental flaw in today's entire debate. We've been focusing on what we shouldn't be focusing on because our constituents, the quality of life of our constituents, that's what's most important in today's debate. That's why we have to affirm. But by affirming, not only would we be helping our constituents, but we would also be helping the economy as a whole. And this is because of something called the marginal propensity to consume. And that's just the fancy way economists say or define the amount of extra income an individual spends rather than saves. Now, it's widely accepted by economists on the left and the right that those who would benefit from an increase in the minimum wage have an extraordinarily high marginal propensity to consume. And this is because they are part of the lower class. If they get extra income, they're going to spend almost every dollar of that extra income, not because they're financially irresponsible, but because they need to survive. And that's going to increase consumer spending. In fact, UC Berkeley's Labor Research Center said that because of the high marginal propensity of the lower class, an increase in the minimum wage would result in $75 billion going into local economies. And that's going to benefit the economy and cancel out any negative effects that the negation can bring up. Now, Senator Jeremy came up here and said that businesses wouldn't be able to afford this. However, large and big businesses have such a high profit margin that they'll be able to do this. The problem is with small businesses. However, the Fiscal Policy Institute reported that states that increased their minimum wage, small businesses in those states saw more employees, faster small business growth, and higher annual payrolls. Now, the reason for this is because of reduced turnover. And that happens because when you pay people more, they're more satisfied with their job and they don't leave to another job. And if an employee leaves and the small business has to hire another employee, that's a lot of money that they spend on hiring another employee. And small businesses save so much money from that because of an increase in minimum wage that the 11 states that increased their minimum wage saw faster small business growth. Now, Senator Lisowska talked about abolishing the minimum wage completely, and when I asked her if any country has successfully done this, she spewed rhetoric, but she didn't give an example. The fact of the matter is that we can see that in the 11 states that have raised the minimum wage, they've seen economic growth, and in Luxembourg, that has a high minimum wage, they've seen it too, and we will if we affirm as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. For that speech of 3 minutes and 5 seconds. All senators with questions, please rise. Senator Lisowska.
Senator, a previous senator had talked about how people who have a marginal, increase in their income will tend to save it. But you here come up and you're saying that they're going to spend it. Please explain.
They're going to spend it because they're part of the lower class and they're already financially in trouble. When they get more money, they need to spend that money just to survive.
Thank you, Senator.
Go ahead.
Senator, what are your thoughts on the annual adjustments to be made to this minimum wage?
Well, adjusting it for inflation is beneficial because that will allow us to keep up with inflation.
Jeremy.
Senator, what is the point of reduced turnover? An increase in the minimum wage deprives employees of their jobs anyways.
It doesn't. We've seen that in the 11th state, it increased employment. In Luxembourg, it increased employment. You gave the one example of Weimar Republic. Thank you.
Salazar.
Senator, how do you respond to EITCs? I noticed that you didn't touch upon it.
Well, the EITC has been in place already, and millions of people are still in poverty. We can't only use government welfare to bring people out of poverty. Let's put this burden on businesses as well.
Perfect, Senator.
Jen.
Senator, if these people have to spend all the money that they're getting and prices might increase, aren't they back at square one where they have to spend all their money?
Well, prices won't increase because this is going to benefit small businesses. It's actually led to small business growth, and it's going to lead to consumer spending, which is going to benefit the economy as a whole as well.
Thank you, Senator Haq. Considering that you just had a speaker on the affirmation, are there any speakers